This is going to be interesting, guys. This is going to be very interesting because we've got... Okay, that's a practice lobby scoreboard. Ignore that. But we've got Diaz on 168 ping. That's right. 168 ping. And he's up against Wannamike. I have no idea how he's going to play here. I have no idea how he's supposed to play with 168 ping. But what we do know about Diaz is when he's on the ball, he's one of the hardest players to defend against in the entire world, especially when it comes to 1v1. And he's already winning by 1-0. This guy's just ridiculous. Now, Wannamike qualified through the open qualifier yesterday. Wannamike's a name that a lot of you will be familiar with. A name that goes back quite a long time, actually, in the North American 1 scene. And he's still kicking about. He's still, obviously, competitive enough to open qualify. I mean, these open quals are pretty tough these days, so that's impressive just to qualify to one of these events. But let's see how he does against Diaz. Oh, that's a good start for Wannamike. Big time dunk now. If he can get on the ball, I think he's going to be just fine in this matchup. The problem is going to be defending Diaz's plays, but when Wannamike's on the ball, I don't think Diaz is going to have fun defending with 168 boost either. It's probably going to be really difficult for both players on the defensive end. Wannamike not able to get that one past Diaz, who's read somehow to play quite well, but now he gets dunked on. And yeah, these kind of awkward positions, I think they are going to favour Wannamike with this kind of ping differential. Diaz probably thought he could get that past him, but as we can see, he can't, and it is 2-1 to Wannamike, who, I mean, I guess he is the underdog. Not sure if you guys would say that Wannamike is the favourite just based on ping alone, but I'd say he's probably still the underdog. But he's off to a great start, picking his spots very well. Anytime that both players are very close to the ball, I think Wannamike should be just going, because it's going to be hard for Diaz to judge actual distance. Honestly, that's a pretty ridiculous save that Diaz just made, especially when you consider that he's probably had to read that completely ahead of time, but he's getting outplayed. Wannamike's playing this so intelligently. Like I said, anytime he can get his car close to the ball, he should do it. He should not be trying to make big booming hits. He should be trying to play close to the ball. He should be trying to keep control. That's going to make it much harder for Diaz to play. And yeah, Wannamike's looking very clean so far in the first game. Can he make it 5-1 with a ceiling play? No, he can't. Actually, Diaz is going to catch and counter, and his flick is too fast for Wannamike to catch up with. Another thing I should have mentioned, by the way, is that AJ's been given a round 1 bye today. Reason being that, who was it that had to, I've forgotten who had to pull out. Oh yeah, Evo had to pull out of the tournament today. I think he's got scrims or something that clashed with the tournament, unfortunately. But what that did is it moved AJ, who's the first seed, into the quarterfinal automatically. Then everybody else has to play round 1 in order to get to quarterfinals alongside AJ. So Diaz seems to have stabilized somewhat. He's going to try not to make too many hard reads, it seems. But Wannamike again playing this really smart. I like that he's keeping the ball close. I'm going to keep saying it. And you guys can use this strategy against high ping opponents as well. Oh, nice save by Wannamike on the Diaz flip reset dunk attempt. Yeah, someone who's played US West Rocket League a fair bit, I could tell you firsthand that it is much harder to play against people who are dribbling. You know, that can count in the air as well. Air dribbles, regular dribbles. But yeah, when Diaz lands like this, not many players are stopping him. Yeah, in EU there was 1 bye as well. Mozzarella had to forfeit. Heavy hit by Diaz there. Forces the boost steal. Oh, he's got to be careful here. Meant to take that to his own backboard. Accidentally. Landed badly. Still able to recover pretty well and keep the pressure on, but that was almost disastrous for Diaz. Wannamike faking a flick off the sidewall there. He has lost possession. Diaz flick will go high, but nothing Wannamike can't handle. The rebound is Wannamike's ball, but he's gotten dunked on. Now both players extremely low on boost. Wonder Mike does have enough to get into the back corner, contest the ball, but Wonder Mike's still struggling for boost until now. Picks up the 100 at mid. Diaz trailing by 1. A lot of those goals came early. A lot of those goals came as Diaz tried to outspeed Wonder Mike to the ball, something that's not wise when you're playing with the ping he is. Now he's tried to play a little bit smarter, getting a better read, it would seem, on the game at this ping deficit. Wonder Mike's not making it easy for him though, making him work for every goal. Diaz, fake flick, wave dash past Wonder Mike. He's going to go for the boost steal. Looks like Wonder Mike stopped briefly, maybe thought he was getting scored on there. Diaz investing a ton of boost. Wanted the lob with the reset at the last second. Still recovers. Still running away from Wonder Mike, who's kept up brilliant boost management throughout this entire exchange. And he will be scoring, surely. Yes, he will. That was phenomenal in the boost management department by Wonder Mike. Diaz thought he was starved. That's why he's committed there. Wonder Mike had plenty, not only to get the clear, but also to catch up and score the go-ahead goal. And now Diaz back into his natural habitat. Early reset. Not really challengeable. How about that for positioning from Wonder Mike? Diaz hoping that Wonder Mike would pre-jump across the goal. Nothing of the sort. He's just waited at the top corner. And he successfully counters. We're going to have a next called from Diaz. I think it's hidden by the overlay there, but it's going to be 1-0 to Wonder Mike after 1 game played. Yeah, if we've got any spectacular salt in the text chat or the quick chat, I might have to hide the overlay for a second so that you guys can see what's happening. Let's get into game 2. Wonder Mike's looking good here. And not just, you know, the ping deficit is important to talk about because it is an extraordinary, you know, I'm just going to say, you know, a piece of boldness as well as confidence from Diaz to even attempt to play with this kind of ping in 2024, 1v1. But it's not just ping. I think that Wonder Mike's played a really smart game 1 there. I think he's kept his composure when Diaz was coming back. And I'm going to call back to that 5th goal especially. The boost management before that was phenomenal. Really baited Diaz in. Wonder Mike with the counterattacks in game 1 was lethal. How are the other games going on in this first round? Let's take a quick look. Looks like Beast Mode was able to take the first game against Cam on Fear's channel. Wavy 1-up on Lion Blaze. No result yet for game 1 of Swift versus Skippy. Diaz up 1-0 here. Looks like he's going to try and go sidewall to counter the half-flip kickoff from Wonder Mike. He did well there, Diaz. You got to be really quick if you're going to go sidewall like that. Wonder Mike was able to get an interception. Heavy hit by Diaz makes it awkward. Wonder Mike picks it up like nobody's business. It's fantastic control, but Diaz able to come away with it and keeps his car alive as well. Boost grabbed by Diaz. He's just running the ball around the pitch right now, taking every boost that he can. Wonder Mike's almost at 0. Diaz going to take the ball where Wonder Mike can't follow. Wave dash shot low, dunk goes through. Well, Diaz did well there to adapt to Wonder Mike's ever-changing position. Again, though, look at Wonder Mike's boost management. I like that from him defensively. He was able to pick up some small pads. In and out save, wave dash recovery, lots of things there that help him keep his boost total somewhat competitive. Diaz taking his time. He has had so much possession in this game. Actually bounces off the post, and that might give him a good enough recovery to save this. Let's see if he goes for it. Wonder Mike. Oh, it looks like he accidentally double jumped there. No doubt he was trying to dunk that one on target. Diaz steals his boost away. Wonder Mike's in a lot of trouble here. Diaz, of course, not rushing the possession. He's going to take it all the way back, and you know that with Diaz on the ball, this is a scoring chance off his own backboard. Look how close to the ceiling he's air dribbling. Reset, just faked at the last second, instead going for a heavy hit. Wonder Mike with a brilliant in and out clear. Diaz is right back to that same attacking position, his own back wall. And here we go again. I mean, the consistency that he's able to get so high with these is astonishing. But once again, Wonder Mike stopped him. Are we going to get round 3 of this? Not this time. Wonder Mike comes away with the ball. It's just truly amazing what Diaz is able to do with his air dribble from his own back wall. Really no one in the world is doing it like him. Inner circle of small boost pads by Diaz. Wanamaike pinching defense just to get some time on the ball. Actually does successfully back Diaz up into his own corner. Wanamaike wall dash, looking to set up a center ball for himself, but he's still boostless. His management of the boost has been pretty good, but he's ran out there on the wrong side of the ball. And Diaz has scored again. How did Wanamaike get a game? He played really well, and Diaz is 170 ping. Combination of both those things. You know, Diaz was a bit careless at the start of the game. Didn't play according to his ping deficit. Oh, look at the mind games. Look at the moves by Diaz. Now that he started winning kickoffs, though, now that he started getting consistent possession play, the ping doesn't really play a factor as much as it did in the last game. There were a lot more plays in the last game where Wanamaike was able to influence the play with dribbles, with air dribbles. In this game, it's just been Diaz air dribbling. He might as well be in free play. Oh, he sees the challenge coming and just puts it over him with a ceiling double. And now it's Wanamaike who calls next after trailing 5 with over a minute to go. I mean, this is just brutal from Diaz. All about the kickoffs there. It's all about the muscle memory for him, because you know that these kickoffs are pinging about on his screen. They're going one way, then the other. They're maybe even bouncing one way, the other way, then the other way again. But it doesn't matter for Diaz. He's able to get the job done, and he's able to tie the series. Really is incredibly impressive that Diaz can even be somewhat competitive against another top tier player with 170. I mean, just I really do. I encourage you guys to try this at home. Try this yourself. Go and find a server that you get 170 ping to. Queue up with your friends and see what it's like, because it is so difficult to play, and Diaz is making it look playable. Yeah, Ruas obviously another player who's quite famous for this. All of the Saudi Arabian players are. All of the Middle East players. But even they didn't do it to this degree. The last time I remember seeing any kind of ping total successfully played with to this level was probably Khaled. Oh, is that in? It will be now. Wanamaike opens the scoring in Game 3. Do you guys remember Khaled against, who was it, Chronic in Salt Mine 1? The Salt Mine 1 had a world final stage, and Khaled played against a couple of NA players, I think Lionblaze and Chronic perhaps, and he was able to take US East games off both of them. Now that was around about 170 ping from Middle East to US East, similar to what Diaz is doing here. Yeah, back then I was equally amazed. I don't know how these guys do it, and yeah, you won't know unless you try it, because yeah, trust me, it doesn't look like this. The spectator client has built-in lag to even out any server inconsistencies. So when you're watching in the spectator, you don't see the lag. Even if I had a 200 ping spectator connection, I wouldn't see it. Yeah, Wanamaike's having a bit of an issue here because he can't get the ball off Diaz, and if Diaz is on the ball, if Diaz is able to get kickoff possession plays, then he can't make use of his ping advantage. He can't start to dribble the ball, 50-50 the ball. He can't go for these, tricky to read plays at both sides of the pitch. I've got to give credit to Diaz for winning the majority of the kickoffs, but Wanamaike has to try and figure out a strategy that gets him a bit more control of the match. Right now, it does look like it's going more and more towards Diaz. Little whip onto the wall, and another whip off the wall will make it 3. Wanamaike dropped a nice shot for that one. So let's take a look at his POV. Yeah, there's nothing he could do. He realized too late that the shot was coming. Diaz with a quick acceleration of the play. Yeah, I'm really not sure this is the play against Diaz. The half flip kickoff. Looks like it might work out this time. Wanamaike with a follow-up challenge successfully dispossesses him. But that's more to do with Diaz blundering his air dribble off the wall. Most of the time he's not going to do that. He's just going to have full control. Just good old faithful flick there from Diaz. Sets up the boost seal. Wanamaike looking to try something a little bit more spicy, going the other way. He gets a boost steal as well. Both players trade in flicks, trade in boost steals. Wondermike wants to keep the pressure on though. Look at this. Brilliant stuff by Wondermike. Center into himself. Diaz thought the fight was for the back corner boost here. Before he knew it, Wondermike was able to go up and over him and tie the game. Any yellow ping is unplayable for you? I wouldn't say any yellow ping. I think that the upper end of playable is like the 120s, that kind of range. Yeah, that's going to be a hard shot to read. That's a really good play by Wondermike. And you know, when he can get on the ball, he's so dangerous. When he can get the ball into the air, he's got the aerial mechanics. He's not someone who needs to rely on simplifying the game. You know, Diaz won't simplify the game anytime he can. He's taking it to the wall, he's taking it to his own back wall. Wants to get the dribbles going. That time Wondermike spaced well to keep Diaz at bay, but Diaz is now circling the box, starting to pepper the net with shots. Wondermike still crosses no man's land safely. Does Diaz have time to grab the boost? He decided he didn't. Didn't want to risk Wondermike having a free goal. Now from his own back corner, Diaz rips a flick high. Gets denied by Wondermike, and he's got to be careful here. Diaz nearly own goaled. Has hit the post, and it's actually bounced out. Wondermike managed to bump Diaz crucially in that position, or otherwise Diaz would have been through on goal. Diaz completely misses the flick. Big chance for Wondermike to make something happen here. Looks like his landing has gone way too far away from the play though. A good mix up by Wondermike, just rushing the challenge. He's backed off for the most of the Diaz grounded plays in this game. Wondermike, small mistake there, didn't take the mid boost as it was spawning. It's allowed Diaz to grab himself 100 to play with. Huge dunk by Diaz. Is that going on target? It looks like it's close. It's hit the post though. Wondermike able to knock it wide. Now Diaz in a good spot to get an attack started. Tried to catch Wondermike pre-jumping there. Shot the ball right at him. Wondermike just sat still, keeping his cool, keeping his composure on a 1-goal lead for the second time this series. Diaz, failed pinch, actually works in his favor. Another rush challenge by Wondermike, who continues to confuse Diaz with the changes of tempo that his challenge games provided him. And he's up 2 now. These early challenges are catching Diaz by surprise. Rare enough that Diaz can't see them coming. Still regular enough though to get work done for Wondermike. That's a great shot. That's perfect from Diaz off the kickoff. One of those situations where Wondermike might wish he didn't score the previous goal, because now he's conceded a kickoff goal and we're right back to the most volatile position in the game. Another kickoff. Will it be another goal for Diaz? Yes, it will. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's never a good idea to say no thanks to an open net, but 2 kickoff goals against him. Diaz just superior with the kickoff mechanics. Wondermike too low on the ball there. So this time Wondermike opts to his half flip, and he does not get the long shot on target or the boost steal afterwards. He's got plenty of boost to play with, but he would have loved to stop Diaz in this position. And look at Diaz switching up the play. Oh, what a save by Wondermike. He got completely outplayed by the initial heavy hit by Diaz. Still managed to recover for the clear before Diaz could score the open net. That was ridiculous. Diaz mixing it up with a fast play, just a ground shot from distance. Now he's back to his old tricks, and he's scoring again. Diaz leads by 1. 19 seconds left. Wondermike's not had a lot of success with the kickoff game this series. He badly needs one now to go in his favor. That's not going to do it. Wondermike trying to inverted half flip there, just land backwards. Bait Diaz. Diaz has to pre-flip here, does so. Take control of the ball. This is a pretty awkward ball. Actually, I take it back. It's Diaz. Of course, it's not awkward. He's just got full control. I mean, trust me, that's awkward. It's hit the ceiling. Come back down on him, and he's like, yeah, no big deal. I'm just going to perfectly hit that right under the ceiling every single time. It doesn't matter how much momentum the ball's got. Doesn't matter how far away from the back wall it is. He's able to get it to graze the ceiling on his first touch with unbelievable consistency. And it looks like that will be enough to win in the game. Diaz, 170 ping, still proving to be too much for Wondermike. I mean, the fact that Diaz can be ahead in a mechanic, visibly, an aerial mechanic, than anyone in the world right now is it really is commendable. Think about the amount of aerial gods we've got right now in Rocket League. You've got your Zens, you've got Yan, you've got the Twins, you've got TRK, you've got Daniel. You've got so many players all around the world. You've got Atto, you know, the list goes on. You've got Durali. But Diaz is ahead of every single one of them when it comes to cross-map air dribbles. He bails out of that one, seeing Wondermike hard read his first touch. And oh, that's actually a good flick by Diaz. Is it enough though? No, it's not. Wondermike post-pitch save. That was Diaz's best flick of the game, but it wasn't quite enough. But this might be. Wondermike's just hovering in the midfield, trying to distract Diaz with his takeoff. It looks like it might have worked, actually. Diaz a lot lower than he's used to being. And you know, you've got to do these things. You've just got to be a distraction sometimes. Be a annoying, floating, pre-jumping challenge against a player like Diaz. You can't just back off to your net. He's going to arrive at the edge of your box with a flip and 30 boost at his disposal every single time. And obviously when he can do that from his own back wall, he can easily present himself any option off the side wall. I mean, this is pretty much a tap-in for Diaz. Point blank range. Wondermike getting ready for the slower play. Diaz switches it up on him and ties the game. That's a beautiful fake by Diaz. Really getting tricky in this last game here. Even towards the end of the previous game, he had a long shot that would have easily fooled a lot of players. Didn't catch Wondermike too far out of position. Direct shot from the wall does. Mind game does. And that's, you know, a switch up from the flick that he almost scored earlier. Wondermike with a chance to tie the game. Catch was good. Flick not good enough. Diaz backs him up again, but wanted to make sure. Diaz not quite getting his first flip right there. Lost all his momentum. He's got to be pretty quick here to get past Wondermike. Wondermike's not going to give it to him. Just forced to back off now, though. And actually, he might have given him an even better play to work with. Diaz off the bounce. Will prefer that to a backball takeoff. And Diaz has faked him again. Well, Wondermike had a good idea trying to stop the Diaz takeoff from his own back wall. But he actually just set him up. And it looks like he ran out of flip time in there. Wondermike definitely tried to flip at the last second there to close the gap to the ball, but his flip timed out and he just crash landed on his nose. That's why it looked a bit weird at the end there. He wasn't close because he thought he still had a flip there. But Diaz looks like he might just be a bit too good. He's managed to control so much possession. Now reset double off the bar. Wondermike should be scoring here. He's got plenty of boost to work with. Makes sure with the little dribble before the flick from distance. It's crazy to think that you might need to be perfect to get a win in this kind of position. Just you don't expect it. Surely Wondermike can score this. Yes, he can. He dunks it in fact. That's a great play. We've not had too much chance to talk about Wondermike's offensive repertoire because it's all been Diaz. It's been Wondermike counter-attacking Diaz for the majority of his attacks. But when Wondermike can get 50-50s, when he can get those chaotic positions, he of course will be the favorite. That's good placement by Diaz. Wondermike afraid of the cross-goal shot. It's like Wondermike probably should have played the ball there instead of running into the back corner for the boost. That little bump by Diaz. No rush in the attack though, but it does get him another possession. Wondermike, ceiling challenge. Beautiful connection. He's going to fly down into the boost. No, he's not. Diaz steals it right under his nose and then takes to the sky again. Oh, what a shot. It didn't look like much height was going to be possible here, but this is Diaz we're talking about. You know he's going to be able to produce something spectacular. Even flying downwards in a position like this, he's able to get it into the top shelf. Wondermike was not positioned for that shot. He was ready to lunge forward, expecting a lower one. So Diaz rarely there, not going off the back wall. Looks like even he thinks some positions are too awkward to go off his own back wall, but he's got the same outcome either way. He's just going to go off the back corner wall instead. Wonder Mike, fake flick, backs Diaz up. That's a good follow-up flick, but not good enough. So he's rattled the crossbar. Another mind game by Diaz. It's been a game full of them. Now Wonder Mike off the inside of his own post. What a shot by Wonder Mike into the post there. Denying Diaz a free possession, or at least a free challenge. Every single time. It just looks like Diaz is in a freestyle 1v1. He's just going straight for that sidewall. Actually missed the boost this time though. Wonder Mike could be in a good chance, good position to score. The vision by Diaz too good. Just keeps an eye on Wonder Mike's position that entire time. Can Wonder Mike strike back with his own aerial game? Mid-air 50 says yes. That is a really smart play for Wonder Mike to go for here. I think he should just be 50-50ing or air dribble bumping every single time, to be honest. Maybe a flip reset outplay every now and then. But the kickoff is his real problem. Diaz top corners, another shot off the kickoff. He's been brutally efficient with his kickoffs. I don't know, I've talked about it a lot, but you know, to do this with 170 ping is extraordinary, because kickoffs they're honestly difficult when you're lagging. Historically, they are one of the harder aspects of the game to get right. Diaz, will he be too fast? Not this time. Wonder Mike takes the boost in his own back corner. This keeps him alive in the series. He needs to score with his next attack to really put the pressure on Diaz though. And here he comes. Will it be the air dribble bump? It's going to be the reset, and it's good enough. He's just barely slotted it past him. And you can tell that Diaz wasn't really sure what shot's coming his way here. Wonder Mike left the reset till very late. Still needs one more though, and Diaz has been so effective with the kickoffs. You've got to think Wonder Mike's going to need to work for this possession. Well, he's given it away pretty early there. Diaz just lets the 50-50 go into the back wall. And now off he goes. How is Wonder Mike going to dispossess him? Diaz in control. Up by one. Air roll shot top bins. Denied by Wonder Mike. Diaz easily back in time for that long shot, and that's going to put him back in control of the match. Final 10 seconds. Wonder Mike has to go. Diaz knows he has to go. Outplays the challenge and puts himself up by 2. Wonder Mike's called GG's. It was a valiant effort. Unfortunately, he just couldn't get enough kickoff possession. Diaz, too efficient. Too consistent with his kickoff hit. And funnily enough, actually, Wonder Mike called GG's. Diaz called GG's and left the game. And then Wonder Mike was just left alone in the game here. Very honorable that he didn't just score, because Diaz left. But yeah, probably would have been a bit bad-mannered to score there in that situation. But GG's, Diaz takes it 3-1. I mean, how on earth is he doing this? I don't understand how he's able to be that good with 170 ping. But that's just Diaz. That's just what he does.